Hare Krishna. So today we are going to continue our reading of Adyatma Ramayana, Ayodhya Kanda, chapter 3. नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So let us begin with a glorification of Lord Ramachandra. Lokabhiramam Ranarangadiram Rajivanetram Raghuvamshanatam Karunyarupam करुणाकरन्तम् श्रीरामचन्द्रम् शरणं प्रपद्ये. So all glories to Lord Ramachandra. So let's begin with the reading. Ayodhya Kanta, chapter 3, King Dasharatha accedes to Kaikeyi's demands. So Lord Shiva said to Mother Parvati, after that, King Dasharath, having ordered the ministers and citizens to do all auspicious deeds for the crowning of Lord Ramachandra onto the throne, proceeding to its private palace most cheerfully. Finding his dearest wife Kaikeyi absent from there, he became agitated and alarmed, and began to wonder, what is the reason that she, who used to smilingly welcome me as soon as I came here, is not seen anywhere today? Being greatly bewildered and sorrowful in his heart at this, he asked the attendant maids, where is your good charactered mistress today? Why has the beautiful to look at beloved mistress not come before me as she always used to do? The maid attendants replied, O Lord, the reason is not known, but today she has gone to the Coke Bhavan. Okay, the angry house. Okay, Coke Bhavan. You can go there yourself and find out everything. Hearing this answer from the maids, the king got scared and alarmed, and he went to Kaikeyi. He sat down beside her and caressed her slowly and said, "O you shy and timid one, why have you left your bed and are lying on the floor? You do not speak to me. This causes con- perplexity to me. Why have you thrown away all your ornaments and lying on the floor in unkempt and shabby clothes? Tell me what you wish. I shall fulfill it. Who has harmed you? Whether he is a man or a woman, he or she will surely be punished by me. Not only this, he can also be killed if you so desire." Okay, that is too much of attachment. Oh Devi, whatever, uh, whatever will, whatever will make you happy, do tell me. Even though that work might be most difficult, I shall do it immediately without wasting a moment. You know my heart. I love you most dearly and am under your command. In spite of that, you make me so sorrowful and regretful. You are trying in vain. Tell me, which pauper do you wish to be made rich, and which rich person has annoyed you that you wish him to be made a pauper? I shall do it immediately. Okay. Tell me, which person who should not be normally killed do you wish to be slayed, or which person destined to be slayed be set free? See, that is the power of a king. So the king can do whatever he wishes to, and he is giving that. That the power he is giving that power to his wife, and it's we can really see it how not to misuse our power and not to be under the control of someone who can misuse our power. So it's a great lesson that we can learn from this. The lotus eye Sri Rama is dearer to me than my wife. I make a vow in his name that I shall do whatever will please you, O God. When the king had made an oath in the name of Sri Rama, Kaikeyi slowly dried her tears and said to him, now she knows that Rama is very dear to Dasharath Maharaj. So if you are really steadfast and unwavering in your words of honor and say this an oath, then you should fulfill all that I ask you now. In an earlier time, during the god demon war, I had saved your life. At that time, you were so pleased and happy with me that you had promised to give me two boons. So, oh, the truthful one, I had kept those two boons pending with you as credit. Now, out of those two, first you must immediately anoint Bharata as Prince Regent using the same paraphernalia collected for the purpose of anointment ceremony of Lord Ramachandra. And second, Sri Rama should proceed to the Dandaka forest forthwith. There, Sri Rama should wear matted hairs and clothes made from bark of trees, subsist on food consisting of edible roots, stems, and fruits, and live like a hermit for the next 14 years. After that period, if he wishes, he can come back to Ayodhya or stay back in the forest. But the lotus eyed Sri Rama should surely go to the forest tomorrow morning without fail. Okay, tomorrow morning is a ceremony. If there is any delay on this count, then I shall die in front of you. Rather, she's saying, I shall commit suicide in front of you. You should live up to your reputation and vote and be truthful. This is my only wish and requirement. Hearing such stunningly shocking and stern words of Kaikeyi, Dasharath collapsed like a mountain hit by thunderbolt. Gradually he recovered himself, opened his eyes slowly, dried his tears fearfully, and wondered, is this a nightmare or am I hallucinating? At that instant, seeing Kaikeyi sitting in front of him like a lioness, he said, O lady, what are these words that you speak which are capable of stealing my life? What harm has the lotus-eyed Sri Rama done to you? You had always been praising Sri Rama's good character and nature before me day and night. You had earlier been seeing that Rama treats me and Kausalya alike and always serves me. Why then are you talking the opposite now? You take the kingdom for your son Bharata, but let Sri Rama stay here. O Vame, the one who sits on the left, that is a wife. O Vame, have mercy on me. You have nothing to fear from Sri Rama. Saying this, so this is a very good line where Dashratha says, uh, it is fear that makes us not see the reality of this world. So even though Lord Ramachandra would never treat Kaikeyi as she has feared or any of his brothers, but still the fear in us, the fear in Kaikeyi has made her not see the truth in front of her. So that's a very important lesson for us. Saying this or regretting this, Dashratha fell at her feet, full of tears and pleading before her. Then Kaikeyi glared at him sternly with red eyes. O king, are you having delusions that you speak against your own vows? Remember, if you break your vows, you will have to suffer in hell. Okay. If Sri Rama does not proceed to the forest tomorrow morning itself, attired in a deer skin and wearing apparels made of bark of trees, I shall either hang myself or eat poison and kill myself in front of you. You deceive everyone in all the assemblies in the world by saying, I am truthful to my words. But now you break a vow made on oath invoking Sri Rama, hence you will have to go to hell. Hearing such stern and harsh words of his beloved, the king was submerged in an ocean of sorrows and mysteries, and became so very agitated. He became unconscious, fainted, and fell on the ground as if struck by death itself. In this way, that night seemed like a year for him because of extreme anguish, sorrow, regrets, and gloom. Here, At the crack of dawn, singers and royal bards began singing songs outside the gates of the palace. But Kaikeyi had ordered them to stop the celebration and was sitting angrily and vengefully. Meanwhile, all the necessary arrangements for the anointment ceremony, such as the assembly of Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, sages, virgin girls, majestic and grand ceremonial umbrellas, whisk, elephants, horses, etc., were assembled and readied at the central gate. Besides this, as per instructions of sage Vashishta, chief courtesans, denizens of the city, as well as subjects of the kingdom, were also present there. During the previous night, none, women, children, elderly, slept. Everyone was excited and jubilant at the prospect of watching Lord Rama dressed in a silk pitambar during the next day's ceremony. He who shall be decorated by all the available ornaments, be adorned by a brilliant tiara and crown as well as Kaustuva money, has a beautiful dark radiant complexion which is akin to hundreds of Kamadhenu, sorry, Kamadeo, okay, Cupids, okay, hundreds of Kamadevas taken together, and who shall have the white ceremonial umbrella held over his head by Lakshmana, who is endowed with all the good characters and virtues. When shall we behold him atop an elephant, smiling sweetly, come from the anointment ceremony? When will the auspicious dawn occur? In this manner, the mind, heart, and intellect of all the subjects of the kingdom were extremely eager and excited. So you see, on one side, the citizens are so eager and happy to have Lord Ramachandra as their king. And the same night, it was Dasharath Maharaj who was suffering so much. About this time, the senior minister Sumantra wondered why the king had not got up from his sleep, and he went silently to the palace to inquire. Having reached there, he saluted the king, saying, "Glory to you," and bowed before him. Seeing the king most remorseful and worried, he asked Kaikeyi, "O Devi Kaikeyi, bless you. Say, why is the king looking so disturbed, remorseful, and perturbed?" At this, Kaikeyi replied, "Today the king did not get any sleep the king today. The king did not get any sleep last night. The whole night he kept on repeating Rama, Rama, as if in a delirious trance. Since he kept awake, he looks like sick today. The king wishes to see Sri Rama. Hence you go and bring him here immediately. O noble lady, how can I go without the king's permission? Hearing these words of the minister, the king said, O Sumantra, I want to see Sri Rama, who is an image of beauty and charm. Bring him here soon. As soon as the king said so, Sumantra proceeded to the palace of Sri Rama. So we see here the ministers don't just do things just because the queen said. They want the permission of the king too. He entered the palace without any objection and said to Sri Rama, O the lotus eye Sri Rama, bless you with all welfares and auspiciousness. Accompany me soon to your father's place, for the king wishes to meet you. Hearing this, Sri Rama appeared astonished and he immediately mounted a chariot and headed for his father's palace. Okay, their palaces are at different places, so he has to go on a chariot. Accompanied by his Accompanied by his charioteer and Lakshmana, Sri Rama showed his regards to sage Vashishta, and others assembled at the central gate by merely bowing before them from a distance while still on the move, and hastily reached his father and bowed before his feet. At that moment, as soon as the king stood up and extended his arms eagerly to embrace Sri Rama, he stopped in the middle, muttered, "Ah, Rama," and slumped down to the ground. Then Sri Rama lamented aloud in confusion and perplexity, saying, "Alas, alas," and hurriedly embraced him and picked him up onto his lap. Seeing the king in an unconscious state, all the women folk of the royal household began weeping and wailing. Wondering what was the cause of these loud wailings, sage Vashishta also reached there from the central gate. Sri Rama asked Kaikeyi, What is the reason for the king's great misery and sorrow? When thus asked, Kaikeyi replied, O Sri Rama, you are the cause of the king's agonies, and you will have to do something which pleases him in order to calm down his mental turmoil and anguish which is causing him too much distress. You are steadfast in upholding truth, and you should also make the king stick to his vows. He has been pleased to give me two boons earlier, but the success of those two boons are in your control. The king appears to hesitate to tell them to you yourself, to them to you himself, but you should protect your father who has been entangled in a snare created by this truth. Because the literal meaning of the word putra is the one who protects his father from going to the hell, hearing going to the hell. Hearing these words of Kaikeyi, Sri Rama was anguished and hurt as if virtually pierced by a sharp pointed instrument. He said, O mother, why do you talk with me like this today? I can lay my life for my father, drink poison for him, so much so that I can leave even Sita, Kausalya, and the kingdom for him. That son who fulfills the desires of his father even without receiving instructions, any express or instructions from him is considered the best among sons. That son who does anything only after he receives express orders from his father is considered medium, and that son who disobeys him is like excreta. Hence, whatever the father has ordered, I shall definitely fulfill it. This is the truth. Ram never says dubious, doubtful things. So we see how great Lord Ramachandra is. Hearing this determination of Sri Rama, Kaikeyi began to say thus, O Rama, the necessary paraphernalias collected for the purpose of your anointment should be used instead for my son Bharata. This is my first boon that is to be fulfilled. According to the second boon, you should regard it as an order from your father to accept garments made from the bark of trees and make your hair into mated trees, okay, mate your hair and proceed forthwith to the forest, sustaining yourself on food befitting hermits and aesthetics there for the next 14 years. That is all. This is the work of your father that you should do. But the king is reluctant to say these words to you himself. Okay, Kaikeyi is very bold. She's just saying the truth as if she is right. Okay, yeah, and she demands it. Sri Rama replied, O mother, let Bharata merrily enjoy the kingdom, and I am going to the Dandakaranya forest immediately. But I can't understand why the king does not tell this to me directly. He is even more ready. Hearing these words of Sri Rama and seeing him sitting in front of him, the anguished and miserable King Dasharath said these most contra- regretful words. O Rama, take this kingdom forcefully from me, who am under the spell of a woman, under illusions or wrong impressions. Am the follower of unrighteousness, sinful path, and am a sinful, unrighteous soul by willingly tying myself in shackles. You should not be guilty of committing any sin or misdemeanor by doing so. O Raghunandan, I too shall be absolved by not saying a lie by doing so. Saying thus, the king began to wail and lament. So he's literally telling Rama, please punish me or do something, and you don't have to go to the forest. O Rama, O Lord of the world, O dear to my soul, how do you think it proper to go to the forest leaving me alone? Saying this, Dasharatha clasped Sri Rama to his bosom and wept bitterly, openly, and profusely. Then Sri Rama took some water in his hands and washed the tears of his father. Sri Rama, who was an expert in property and propriety rules, okay, what is that? Rules of conduct and sanctioned code of behavior, ethics, and morality, began to console him diplomatically, slowly, soothingly. He said, O Lord, if my younger brother Bharata rules the kingdom, What is there to be so sorrowful about it? I too shall fulfill this vow and return back to you at Ayodhya. And O king, while staying in the forest, I shall be enjoying happiness which could be millions of times greater than at Ayodhya. In this, your honor and truthfulness would be protected. The work of the gods would be done, and the welfare of Kaikeyi would also be ascertained. Hence, O king, there is a lot of goodness and virtue in my staying in the forest. So Lord Ramachandra is very clear, and he sees everything as a greater, higher plan. He doesn't see Ramachandra had to go to the forest for a purpose. That is what he says here as the work of the gods. So he has to go there to do that work, and at the same time Ayodhya should not be left just like that when he is away. So he says, yeah, let Bharata take care of the kingdom then, and I'll be back after 14 years, and I'll be very happy in the forest, nothing to worry. And I learn a lot from the great sages and the rishis there in the forest, and even Kaikeyi's boon will also be fulfilled. So what is there to worry? See, it's like when we see that higher plan and the divine hands and all that is happening around us, we won't be disturbed by all those issues, or we don't see all this as a great suffering. We see the higher plan. So if Dasharatha was not so disturbed, then he would have lived for another 14 years, and when Ramachandra comes back, he would have happily welcomed Ramachandra, and he could have seen Ramachandra being coronated as a king. And definitely Bharata is not also not going to just be the king. He wants his brother to be the one. So it would have been a happy ending if all the suffering, if we all understand that higher divine plan and accept that. So now I want to depart soon. Let the anguish of Mother Kaikeyi be calmed down. Okay, the Rama is saying, I want to depart soon. Let the anguish of Mother Kaikeyi be calmed down. Let the things assembled for my anointment be kept aside. After consoling Mother Kausalya and somehow explaining the situation to Sita, I shall come back soon. And after paying obeisances at your feet, I shall forthwith proceed to the forest. Saying so, he circumambulated his father and came to meet his mother Kausalya. At that time, she was worshipping Lord Vishnu for the welfare and well being of Sri Rama. She had already done the ritualistic fire sacrifice and had given a lot of wealth as charity to Brahmins, and was presently observing silence and was deeply concentrating on Lord Vishnu. Rather, she was meditating. Being deeply engrossed in meditating on Lord Vishnu, who is omnipresent and all pervading, an embodiment of all powers, is splendorous and radiant, an embodiment of love and compassion, eternally all blissful, and the Lord of the gods. She could not see Rama arrive there. So, with this, we come to the end of the third chapter of Ayodhya Kanda. So, thank you for joining in. We'll see you the next session.